Welcome, everybody, to the Dutch Speaking Academy podcast. And today I have a very, very special guest for us, for you, for me, and for us, everyone. It's Mimi from Growing Up Multilingual. And Mimi is a linguist and a multilingualism specialist. And we connected through Instagram, of course, the beautiful Instagram. And we soon realized that we have a lot in common in what we're bringing in the world. For me, that's helping parents to speak Dutch, and for Mimi, it's to help international parents navigate multilingualism, right? And
Yes.
especially aimed at children who are growing up multilingual. Welcome, Mimi.
Uh-huh. Thank you very
Anything
much.
I missed to introduce you?
No, this is pretty much what I do. And I help families, educators, communities just make sense of multilingual development and,
Yes.
yeah, and everything that comes with it. Create environments that are conducive to language learning and
Yes.
have their children
Definitely.
thrive. That's what
And
that's what we are out for, right?
definitely, definitely. And I'm really excited that you're here because you're a specialist in this field. And of course, in my program, I speak with the parents about like how are you navigating the home situation with your child growing up learning Dutch fluently,
Mhm.
but also speaking two other languages. For example, a Turkish mom and an English speaking or an Italian speaking dad, and then they speak English. So the child is speaking four languages, and what works, how do you do it? We always talk about that in one of the sessions of our program. And I'm so happy that you're here and that we are going to be talking about this because you're the specialist in this field. And I'm also excited that you're going to be hosting a guest masterclass in the program. But we'll talk about that at the end of our conversation here. All right?
Super exciting. Thank you for having me.
All right. Shall we start with a first question? Um, why do you think So you said something when we met before about that you think it's important for parents to learn the target language of the country. And in my case, that would be Dutch. Why do you think that's important?
There are many different aspects for this. I find it's, of course, it's always a personal choice, but I personally think it's very, very important. And I would say we can look at it from three different
Mm,
perspectives: the school, the societal aspect, and the self aspect. Um, Well, let me start with my own reality. I have two kids, 10 and 6, so group 8 and group 3. They both go to Dutch school. Obviously, Dutch is a very strong language for them, and it's also the societal language. We've been in the Netherlands for close to 7 years.
okay.
Um, and I've done three courses, and I've been practicing a lot. And it does make a huge difference. So I can speak about it as a specialist, but also from my own personal experience, try it and test it with
Yes.
blood, sweat, and tears sometimes.
Bloed, bloed, zweet en tranen. Bloed,
Tranen, yeah.
zweet en tranen.
um, and even if my Dutch isn't perfect, I don't like this adjective because a lot of people use it to describe their language skills, and
Mhm.
for me, it's really it just doesn't describe language skills in any form or shape. But nevertheless, being able to join a conversation at the playground or the parent-teacher meeting or birthday
Mhm.
parties, like those everyday things, rather than having everybody switch to English for you, this is one main aspect. And it's not just about the words. It's not just about breaking their dynamic or their flow when everybody is speaking Dutch, but a big part of it is showing to you kids that I belong in the same space as they do. So I
Mm.
can go to their school and I can get myself understood, even if it's not in a very fluent way like I would do in, let's say, English or Bulgarian. That's my home language, but still I'm willing to try. I want to try. I want to be a part of it. Then we have the societal aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we can live in the Netherlands without speaking Dutch because everybody speaks English. But this is a giant but here because I've heard so many people say, oh, why should I learn Dutch? You know, so many excuses. But you always feel that there is a layer missing, that you always feel like an outsider. You always feel that you're not a part of this community. If you, like you want to understand the humor, you want to understand as cultural aspects, you want to understand, like how you build friendships, how you to go deeper than small talk, build connections with people. Some
Yes.
people have said to me, oh, why bother? I've been here, I will only be here for 3 years. It doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter because it's your choice to move to this place.
Mm.
That means it's your responsibility to try and connect to the people around you. And not just for the sake of you and the people around you, but for your children,
Yes.
to help them build friendships, to help them build connections with the world around them. Because school is one thing, the community and neighborhood is a different thing. And it's been super super helpful. And people, I have to say, in my experience, Dutch people have been very very accommodating and helpful and super friendly because having lived in other places before,
Mm-hmm.
people are not very keen. Not everybody is very keen in doing small talk and talking to each other. Dutch people like this a lot, I found. You can
Oh
chat
yeah.
people up in the Albert Heijn, in the line, or in
What
any
do
other
you
setting.
What do you think are the best topics for small talk for Dutchies to connect with the Dutch?
Honestly, I've talked to people about anything and everything that
Mm.
is something that has to do with something around you. Obviously, I'm not well versed in Dutch to talk about politics because I see Dutch people like to talk about politics, or at least my husband's colleagues do. I understand a lot, but I can't express everything I want because I lack the vocabulary. And I'm going to talk about my personal beast. Um,
Yes, tell me, because how do you find it to speak Dutch?
um,
How do you do it?
well, this
Because
is the third aspect that I mentioned before. This is the self, my own personal beast that I call it, that really fights against me.
yeah.
No, you're not good enough. And no, like people will wait for you, will have to wait for you, and you're wasting their time because when they wait for you to make a sentence. No, the thing is, people want you to succeed. People are happy when you try and speak their language. When I go into the store, like the bakery or the butcher, and I say something in Dutch, and they can obviously hear I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
Some people switch to English right away. Some people answer me in Dutch, and I always say, sorry, mijn Nederlands is niet zo goed, maar ik wil graag oefenen. And they're so happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
see, I
Yeah.
got nervous just saying this sentence in front of you.
You did perfect.
But,
Yes. Yes. But you're in
practice,
control. You're in
practice,
control.
practice.
Yeah,
And people
definitely.
don't want you to fail. People want you to succeed. And we tend to
And
forget this.
Yeah, and just for context, where do you live in the Netherlands?
Yeah, this is another thing, right? We lived in Amsterdam, but we moved to a town called New Vennep.
Yes.
And it's easier to do it in a smaller town than in the big city.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
I hear this a lot from my students, definitely. Yeah.
But
But
you can always tell people, and people will not shut you down. People want to support you. And sometimes I think one of the biggest reasons in the city is that people are in a rush. People are just busy, busy, busy more than in a smaller town.
yes.
But still, if you go to the store, if you try to, just to a shop clerk, let's say in Albert Heijn or Kruidvat, and then you're trying to ask for something, where something's located, see right away, you're talking about directions, you're talking about locations. Is it up? Is it down? Like those simple things. But this is all practice, and this is all you chipping away at your insecurity about speaking the language.
Yeah. It's really, really brave and cool that you did this on your own and that you took these steps because I have so many students in my courses. Of course, I focus on the speaking confidence, on gaining the confidence to speak, and there are so many people who are dis demotivated because of the people in a rush, or people keep switching to English straight away, or they're feeling like they are in a rush, so I cannot take my time to speak. But it's great that you've been doing it, and you're still doing it. So
And
well
I
done
can
to
tell
you.
everybody it is working. And there will always be the odd person who'd be like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
like, or
yeah,
they will push for English. Fine, it's one person. The next one will be different.
yeah. Perfect, perfect. Hey, and if we go to, I'm just curious about your home situation, huh? Because you said you're from Bulgaria.
Yes.
Your children, one of your children was born here.
Yes. My daughter was born in the Netherlands, and my son was born in Germany. He
Yeah, and
was,
which languages do you speak at home? Is your husband, your
he's from
partner?
Canada.
He's from Canada. So
Yeah.
what's your home language?
So at home, we speak
One.
mostly Bulgarian and English. So English is the home language that we speak together as a family.
Okay.
And Bulgarian, I speak with my kids. I would say 80-ish% of the time, because sometimes it's just not possible, because of everybody needs to understand things. My husband understands quite a bit of Bulgarian, but he doesn't really speak it. But it's no longer a secret language. And but we don't speak Dutch at home actively. So we watch some Dutch TV for a variety of reasons. Journaal is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
It's
The
also great,
children's
yeah,
news,
the
children's
children's
news.
news, because it's also fantastic for practicing. And also afterwards, it's fantastic too, because some people say, oh, like you're going to watch the Dutch news, your children waste time from practicing the home language, because they're going to go to school in Dutch. But no, that's not true, because you watch the Dutch program, it's practice for me, and then we talk about it, but we talk about it through our home language.
Ah, okay.
So we connect everything, and we practice all our languages together through the stories that we hear, or some cartoons that my
Yeah,
kids like to watch.
that's beautiful. And did you have a strategy in mind for this, for your multilingual children when they were born? Did you think like this is how I'm gonna do it? Did you follow a certain strategy
Yes,
or
so I
way?
always, yeah, so things change. All those strategies are not really set in stone, and it's like a work in progress the whole life.
Mhm.
I never thought we were going to leave Germany, and then we did. So when we moved to the Netherlands, my son was 3.5, and we left the German. We stopped putting any effort into German. to focus on Dutch because we knew he's going to go to Dutch school.
Mm-hmm.
What we did is he went to daycare for a couple of days, but just for a few months, just to get acquainted with the language a little bit. And then he started school with a very, very little Dutch in group one.
What was that like for him?
Um, it was a little bit difficult in the beginning, but but that was first when he started daycare. But it was a mix because we moved, he left his friends there, he moved to a new environment. So it was more a combination of things. And
Nice.
we, like when they start daycare and school in a new environment, we should always expect some sort of disruption. And depending on the child and their personality is always different.
Yeah.
Sometimes kids are quick to adjust to the new environment. Sometimes it takes longer. My son is very, very emotional and a very sensitive child. So I knew it might take longer. He found friends and it worked beautifully. And
Yeah.
yeah, and my daughter was born in the Netherlands and she went to floor school and then started school and she's now in group three. So yeah, we haven't really had any language related problems with school.
Nice. Yeah. And so do you ever speak Dutch with your children?
When they help me practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
How do they help you practice?
Well, I try to, when we go out and go shopping, for example, I always try to say stuff in Dutch. Now I've gone one up. I try to explain myself at the dentist and at the doctor with very simple terms. But when they
Perfect.
are with me, they try to help me with a word, or after that, applaud me, or I ask, what could I have done better? And then I'm told what I could have done better. Sometimes I help my daughter know because she is now learning to read and write in Dutch, but my son helps me with some text messages within the infamous parent WhatsApp groups. That's a
Yes.
full job in itself to keep
Mm-hmm.
up with everything. But
Yes.
yes,
How
but
do we do it?
uh,
How do we do it? I don't know, but we're doing
there
it.
is another reason for me, this is another source of learning the language, of course, of practicing. And it's another reason why I want to learn a little bit more
Yeah.
because it's a full-time job in your own language. But if you're doing it in a different language, it takes a whole different level of
Yeah.
skill
Definitely. Yeah.
and
Definitely.
effort. But I try to talk to my kids' friends, to the moms in Dutch. A couple of moms have told me, let's speak Dutch because you need to practice. And they've been
Perfect.
super patient, and super forthcoming and helpful. And if I can say something in Dutch, I say it in English and then I go back to Dutch. And that's not a
Perfect.
problem.
Yeah. Nice. Beautiful. Do you? Some of my students from my Dutch for Parents course with older children say that there's a point where their child would just really demotivate them because you're saying like my son helps me. He's 10,
He's 10,
right? He's
yes.
10 years old. My son helps me. Some of them say like no, my child is rolling their eyes, or they look embarrassed, or they feel embarrassed when I try to speak broken Dutch. This is what some of my students have said, right? Is that something that you've experienced or not at all? Or what, do you have anything to say about that, with keeping in mind that the child is also learning different languages on their own?
Um, I think this particular thing has not or very little, if anything, to do with the fact that the child handles different languages. I have to say, my kids get more embarrassed when I speak Bulgarian with them in public because it's so uncommon. And we have conversations about this because Bulgarian, let's be honest, is not a very high status language, unlike English. When I speak English to them in public, there is no problem.
Okay.
When I try to speak Dutch in public to people, um, we've never had issues so far. But I I think when if a parent should have a problem with this, they should just persevere because
Mm.
they're setting an example for their child. This is another huge perk of learning to speak the local language or Dutch in our case, because you set an example for the child. Your child is children are always watching us. We all know by default they do what we do, they don't do what we say. And when they see that we're trying, and when we, even if they're, oh, like you're embarrassing and don't do that, and I don't know you, don't want to talk to you, and all those
Mm.
things, it doesn't matter. Just keep trying because you're showing them this is a process. It's not something that is going to happen right away. And the thing is, when children are older, they might struggle with the level, with the academic language in school. Like my son, for example, he is doing some BILES tutoring because I feel like he needs to enrich his academic language. And by me learning and showing him, oh, I'm also making mistakes and I'm trying to learn. This is a process and it's tough and you make mistakes, but then you keep going. And it kind of normalizes the effort as well, because it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And my kids always correct me as well. As I said before, um, you wouldn't know the amount of the number of times I had to pronounce the words like bus and mug because I cannot pronounce it properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't, or I have to practice a lot more. But it doesn't matter. We still keep going. And sometimes they make fun of me. And that's okay. As a parent, also, you need to be able to do those kinds of things
Yeah.
and give your children the sense of agency. Hey, my child knows more than I do. That's fine. It gives them this feeling of I know more than my mom or dad. I can also teach them something. They're not the only ones that I
Yeah.
can always teach them something as well.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
it it helps you bond with your child on a different level as well. I'm getting goosebumps talking about this because isn't this
True.
what we're all after? Creating this connection with our children and bonding and making them feel emotionally secure.
Yeah.
And this is helpful in this regard as well because they don't always see you as the stern parent who sets the rules and the scaffolding and makes them do things. No, like you're also incapable in certain areas.
Human being, yeah, and just going through
Absolutely.
life and finding your way through life and messing up sometimes, and that's okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and this is what it's like to be human, exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
a little
love
bit
it.
like, for me, it's just a small personal thing. I just started doing piano lessons in
Hmm.
May, and it's for me it feels like it's a whole different level, but it feels like learning a new language too, with all the notes and the way I have to do it. But it's safer because I don't have to do it outside, like at the bakery. I can do it at home, but still I really feel that I'm showing my children that I'm messing up because I on purpose I practice when they are there,
Hmm.
because it's not only for me, but also I want to show them like this is me trying something. I really suck at it, but they love jingle bells and that I can play jingle bells, and it's just so much fun.
But it's exactly the same thing because it's the language of music, right?
Yes,
It
yeah,
is. It is. And they're
yeah, and
seeing.
that's why I'm always in awe with my students and with the people, and mainly women. Let's talk about that. Mainly women in my programs that take the step. They feel like, okay, I want to set this example for my child. I don't want to be the one that still doesn't understand or speak Dutch while my child is like thriving in Dutch, and I don't want to tell them that it's okay to make mistakes. You want to show them that it's okay and to learn something new. So yeah, I think it's beautiful how you're handling it too. The so there are usually I have like two men in my Dutch for Parents course. Do you see that in your because you're helping families?
Yeah.
Can you tell a little bit for the people who are listening, like what do you do exactly with parents and
Well, I
multilingual children?
teach, I help parents learn about bilingual development and how the bilingual brain works, what's possible, what's not possible, and how I help them learn how to manage their no, their family languages. That includes home languages, community languages, and any other language that plays a part in their own little universe.
Yes.
Because what I found really, really interesting is that a lot of families look very similar on paper. And once you start talking to them, and this is one of the reasons why I really, really like and love what I do, is everything is so very personal because there are so many layers of wants and needs and expectations and beliefs. And once we start talking, there are so many layers that we peel off, and then we
Mm,
see that, well, this family is not at all similar to the other family, even though they look the same on paper, because it's about their story. It's about where they come from, what they've been through, where they're going, what their setup is, how they see life. And it's just, there's so much more at play than just the language aspect.
yes.
Yeah, and I can imagine it's very similar for you as well. When people, there are many different reasons. Everybody says probably, like, I my Dutch is not very good, and I'm never going to learn it, and I'm too old, and I'm not good at languages.
Yep.
But there are so many different layers below
Yes.
that.
Yep.
What would you say are some of the fears that your learners have?
The main fear, like the mother of all fears that always comes up in some sort of disguise, is like, I'm afraid that they'll think I'm dumb.
Oh, okay.
And because it's not perfect, and I'm afraid that people will think that I'm not as intelligent or funny or smart as I am,
Hmm.
because I don't feel like myself when I'm speaking Dutch, because you feel like um, you're slowing down. You don't have the complexity of the language, so you're using more simple words. And it's a really big fear for almost all of my students because they're all so smart, and we were taught how to learn knowledge and reproduce knowledge, and therefore gain our university diploma and our master's degree, and then our land our incredible job. But then speaking a language just requires so much more, and it's not just the brain, it's not just the smart brain, it's the whole system, your whole body, and all these beliefs that you have about yourself, and the ego, and your nervous system is involved. So there's so much more to speaking a language. And the one fear that we always tackle is that like it's not good enough, I'm not smart enough, or I'm dumb. Those are the big ones. And yeah, that's if there's always a point in my programs where people are like, oh, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I'm bringing back the joy into this, and I'm learning something new. And I love that, most of all love that for with parents, because then what is the effect? If a mom can say that, fuck it, I'm just gonna enjoy this process and I'm just gonna speak, and I'm still a capable, intelligent, powerhouse woman, no matter what a Dutchie might think. But we never know what they think because, like you said, Mimi, most people just want you to succeed,
Yes.
and it's so important to have that state of mind instead of, oh, they think I'm dumb. And what we create for the children is setting the example. Like, look at mom, she's going for it.
Yeah.
She's just
He's killing
trying.
it. I can
She's
hear
killing
it.
it, mom.
Yes, but I really
Yeah.
liked what you said. They're willing to look and find this joy and
Yes.
utilize it just to learn something new. The joy of learning something new and growing,
Yeah.
regardless of what everybody or the person you're talking to might think about you. Because there was this thing that this show Modern Family, and Sofia Vergara, she would speak, her English was not always the best, and she would say, "Oh, I'm much funnier in Spanish."
Yes.
But when they can understand it, it's the very similar situation.
Yeah.
But finding the joy of just learning something new and connecting to people, and it doesn't matter. Some would be dismissive, but the majority of people would welcome it because
Yeah.
people really appreciate it when you try.
Yeah. And you, like, how do you feel when you try? If we just ignore what other people would say, like, how does it make you feel as a woman, as a mother, speaking this ridiculously weird language?
Honestly, the more I practice, the more fun I find it because I learn more and I feel like I'm getting better, even if it's just tiny, tiny steps forward. And especially when one of my kids says, "Hey, good job," or when I write a message of two sentences and I show it to my son and he says, "Oh, you could have said it like this, but that's fine too." And I'm like, yes, and this motivates you. And I am
Mhm.
not going to lie and say it's always a walk in the park. By default, the type of person I am, I always worry too much what other people would think, and
Mm.
I'm a bundle of nerves. But the more I try, the better it gets.
Yeah.
And it's all about getting over yourself for those few times of trying until it becomes a habit. And now, when I try to speak, it's easier than it was a year ago or half a year ago. And when I see that people understand me, even if my sentence is not completely grammatically correct, even if I manage to shove two German words within three sentences because I couldn't find the Dutch words, and sometimes I think, oh, maybe it's a similar word,
Yeah.
people just, or if I say this, I do all the time. Instead of saying twee maanden, I say twee monaten.
Oh yeah.
But people get it. And then I think, okay, I made a mistake. I'm just mental note for next time. And then I do it wrong the next time as well. But it doesn't matter. You need to
No.
keep going, and
Yeah.
then you get it right because it's the practice. And as adults, we have so much more, I call it personal baggage, that we've collected over the years through our lives, and it impairs us. Kids um kids are, they relax much more easily than adults when they try to connect with other kids.
Yeah.
And imagine if they waited until their Dutch was perfect to start speaking. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
not a good
it's just
scenario.
not gonna happen. No, no one will be speaking at all anymore.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. It's really, I'm so happy for you, and that you just found this way of doing it, and that you made it here, up until this level. It's so inspiring. So thank you for sharing. And I just want to say before we get to the final part of our podcast, like, if for anyone who's listening who's like, oh yeah, I want this too, I want to be in this vibe, just go and try it. Like try it out. See if you can, if there's somewhere where you can find the joy again of practicing. And if you don't want to do it alone, that's what I'm here for. So that's what we created Dutch for Parents for, to do this together, to get this vibe together of just cheering each other up and hey, let's go and celebrate the wins and also celebrate the fails of two monate, and then just continue doing it again. And I'll be there every step on the way too. And it's just so empowering and fun to see you so excited about doing this,
It
even
is.
though it's not easy.
No, but you know what? It's a very, very rewarding journey because you see that you get closer to the people, that you can connect more with the people. And we're all social animals, aren't we? We want to create this connection. And the more you can connect with the people in your environment, the better you feel as well. And
Yes.
it's, I think the thing is getting over yourself, this initial hurdle you need to jump over. And then it gets easier with time. And the more you do it, the more you tell your mind that what your mind thought before you can't do it is not true. So you create a new habit and you create a new connection that no, this is possible. Yes, this is possible. It's absolutely worth trying. And I will encourage everybody who's listening to please go and just order something at the bakery today. Nobody would laugh at you, I promise. People are really, really helpful.
Well, and if they do laugh or roll their eyes or switch to English, then just feel the pride of doing it and trying it. And just say, goed gedaan. We'll do it again next time.
Yeah, pat yourself on the shoulder. Goed
Please.
gedaan. Absolutely.
Lekker bezig, we
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Bezig.
I had a really hard time with this. Now I finally understood what it means.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're doing juicy. Lekker bezig.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
It's so nice. All right. How shall we end this beautiful conversation? There's so much more to talk about, Mimi. And this is not the end, of course. Maybe that's where how we end, because you're coming as a guest speaker. You're gonna be hosting a masterclass in the Dutch for Parents program, which is starting next week, 24th of September again, and talk about share your knowledge with us about raising bilingual, multilingual children,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
then also there's going to be lots of space for Q&A. So all the parents
Yes.
that are in there, if you have questions about how can we manage this or navigate this, or what tweaks can we do maybe to make it easier, or just prepare ourselves for it. If you had just had a baby and you're like, what's coming?
What am I doing right
What
about
am I
now?
doing? Then join the program and you'll get access to the masterclass with me. Mimi, how can people find you if they're interested in you or working with you or want to learn more about what you have to say?
Um, well, they can reach out through my website, growingupmultilingual.com, or via Instagram, growingup_multilingual.
Perfect.
And reach out with any questions, concerns, or just to say hi.
Yeah, perfect. I love that. All right. Thank you so much, Mimi, for this podcast, for joining us here. And we'll see each other soon. And for everyone who's listened, thank you so much for listening. And please let us know what you thought of this episode. Would be lovely to hear your response. Or maybe if you have any questions, put them below our video or podcast, and we can come back to it in the masterclass, or maybe do another episode for you to get back to your questions. Let's see where we go. All right.
Thank you for
Dankjewel.
having me.
Mimi.
I loved it. Thank you, Belle.
Dankjewel. Doei doei.
Doei doei.